ZZ109FM. This is Elsie Jenkins. I am here. I am talk radio. I am putting out information that your ass needs to listen to. And some of this information you need to provide to some of these people out here on this planet. Life's about being accountable and responsible. Two things. Accountable for your actions and responsible for the things that you need to take care of to be able to survive on this planet. Some people look at these things lightly. For example, you have a pet. You decide to have a pet, that is a responsibility. It's not one you can cut on and cut off. You have to be responsible for that pet, for the duration of that pet's life in your care. There's no day off. And that's the best indicator to tell whether or not you're ready for churn. Because, see, you have to be there for them constantly. There is no day off once you decide to have a child. Accountability and responsibility is what we're talking about today. And people out here on the planet, there's many people on the planet that don't take these things seriously. So this show is simple. There's a group of people on the planet that do take this seriously. And you are targets because people need your help that are irresponsible. They need your assistance. Now, you have peace and you have tranquility because you understand these things. We're going to go over the steps you have to cover to make sure that that doesn't get trampled over. Your personal space. I'm going to tell you something. We work hard for this personal space. We go out here. We do what we have to do. We make decisions. We don't jeopardize our opportunity to have that personal space. It's very important to have it. Without it, there are others around you that you don't know anything about. You no longer have personal space. So maintaining these things, that's where we're at when you're trying to be helpful. Now, how does this space get infiltrated? It's very simple. What you understand about financial stability is just the opposite. They do not. And what you have to understand, it's a cycle when it comes to instability. See, a lot of times we are so helpful, we don't understand the cycle that someone is involved in. This is important because you can't help someone if you don't understand their situation. So the cycle of financial instability begins when poor money habits meet temporary relief. People often believe that a break like free rent or financial help will fix their problems. But without discipline, it only delays them. When income increases or expenses drop, the extra money should go towards savings or debt reduction. Instead, many spend more, chasing comfort or impulse purchases. This creates a false sense of progress while the underlying issues, lack of budgeting, poor planning, and emotional spending remain untouched. Over time, the same individuals find themselves back in crisis, wondering where their money went. The cycle repeats because accountability is missing. Financial stability requires structure, not just opportunity. Helping someone means guiding them toward responsibility, not shielding them from it. Breaking the cycle starts with transparency, tracking income, setting goals, and learning that progress isn't about how much you make, but how wisely you manage what you have. It's important to understand these things because if you don't understand these things and you have a good heart, you're not going to be able to rectify any situation. And this gives you a foundation as to what to expect, how to manage, and how to pass on expectations to those that you're trying to help. very important, or you'll be stuck. It's almost like a cycle, a loop. You'll be stuck. Personal space transforms into community space when individual areas like bathrooms, kitchens, or shared living rooms become places everyone must use and respect. What once belonged to one person's habits now reflect the collective behavior of all who share it. Maintaining these spaces require a shift in mindset instead of focusing on personal comfort alone. Each person must consider how their actions affect others. Cleanliness, organization, and courtesy become shared responsibilities rather than personal preferences. Leaving a mess or ignoring upkeep sends a message that others' time and comfort don't matter. In a community setting, maintaining space means balancing freedom with accountability. Recognizing that respect for shared environments builds trust and harmony. The difference lies in intention. Personal space is about self-expression, while community space is about cooperation. When everyone contributes equally, the space becomes not just livable, but supportive and fair for all. Sometimes, when I was younger, I thought my older elders were just running off at the mouth when they was telling me things about life. I didn't get it because I wasn't comprehending what they were saying. But now that I go back and I look at what they were saying, I realize they were communicating exactly what I needed to hear to become a better person. It's important to sooner or later in your life start to take the information that you're getting and applying it. It's never too late to apply it. But the sooner you start applying the information, the sooner you'll see a difference in your entire livelihood. So here we are at the crossroads. You see someone, you try to do your best to assist them, but then you see your wheels are spinning. Doesn't seem to be any progress. First thing we have to do is remind them, before they even are given that opportunity, that they are temporary tenants. This is not permanent. This is temporary. And in order for it to be temporary, there's some things we're going to have to do to assure that it's not anything but temporary. When new temporary tenants pay rent, it's often at a reduced amount, designed to help them save for their eventual move out. This arrangement supports their transition toward independence while still reinforcing responsibility. However, there should never be an expectation of living rent-free. Paying even a smaller portion teaches accountability and respect for the space being shared. Rent should not be planned before the due date, not when the first of the month arrives. Waiting until rent is due to start saving creates unnecessary stress and instability. Responsible tenants budget ahead, setting aside funds gradually so payment is smooth and predictable. This approach mirrors real-world financial discipline and ensures that temporary living arrangements remain fair and sustainable. Reduced rent is the helping hand, not a free pass. It is a structured opportunity to rebuild stability while learning how to manage obligations responsibly. That's the whole reason why most people are at your doorstep, because they're not managing those obligations responsibly. Now, some tenants give you this red flag message. They claim that paying rent keeps them from getting ahead. But mind you, when you have two adults with steady income that are paying only 25% of what they used to, this statement becomes a red flag to you. If their rent has dropped dramatically and they still cannot save, the question becomes simple: where is the money going? Math does not lie, and numbers reveal patterns that excuses try to hide. This is why before agreeing to let somebody stay temporarily, you must confirm their income with pay stubs. This isn't invasive, and it isn't a secret. It's basic accountability. When you know exactly what they earn, you can immediately identify whether their claims match reality. Without this step, temporary tenants can create diversions, insisting rent is the barrier to progress when the real issue may be the spending habits, lack of budget, or avoidance. Verifying income upfront protects your household sets a clear expectation, and prevents financial manipulation disguised as hardship. This is very important, and a lot of people open their arms, bring people in, but you have to be mindful of what you're dealing with before you do that. No excuses. The cycle of financial instability begins when temporary relief like free rent, reduced payments, or outside help is mistaken for a permanent solution. Instead of using that breathing room to save or plan, many fall back into the old habits of overspending and poor budgeting. This money disappears, bills pile up again, and excuses replace accountability. This creates the illusion of progress while the underlying problem remains untouched. The truth is simple. The math doesn't lie. If income is steady, but savings never grows, the issue isn't about the money, it's about how it's managed. Over and over, this is put on the table. But once it's on the table, everyone looks away from it. No one wants to look at it and say, with a breath of real breath, say, you're right. I see the problem. Let's see what we can do to fix it and change it, to break this cycle. That's where someone comes in with the structure. That means they're verifying everything, they're setting clear boundaries, sometimes even managing on the behalf of the tenant to prevent waste. Stability comes not from temporary relief, but from discipline, preparation, and respect for shared responsibility. Until those lessons are learned, instability will always return no matter how much help is offered. Instability will return no matter how much help is offered. ZZ109FM Talk Radio, this is Elsie Jenkins. I'm going to tell you now, this is a lot of information here that we have to know before we help anybody. And after experiencing this situation multiple times, it is my honest opinion that you need to close your door and allow these people to fall flat on their face. To have to manage all this information I just put out here. Not for yourself. You're doing this to help somebody else. And they still find a way to circumvent your help. It means you shouldn't even have opened your doors to begin with. This world is a big world. And as far as I'm concerned, close your door. They will figure it out. To try to have to save the world, Superman can't save everyone on the planet at one time. He can do a good job trying to do it. But the numbers don't lie. There's a certain percentage of people that aren't going to be saved. It's a fact. Therefore, you prioritize as to what's important. Them or you. And when you look at everything that you have accomplished by following every step here that we're trying to slide across the table to them, you've been successful in accomplishing everything by following these exact same things we're talking about here. Why jeopardize? Why jeopardize all the comfort you have created up to this point for friend or family? I know Jesus would probably look at the situation and say, you should let them in and help them out. But I would turn to Jesus and say, read this information I just put out here, Lord. No, it's not the word of the Bible, but it is the word of common sense. And if I can read your Bible and read through the information and gain the knowledge I need to not get myself in situations, what's the difference between these words, Lord? These words are guiding them just like your words guide me. But you want me to help people. I'd hope you look at me and say, you are right. Because if I told you to not give this information, it would be a contradiction of what I give you in the Bible. A contradiction. I'd love to have that conversation with him to see if there's just one moment where he'd say, my book is about lessons, learning lessons. And it seems that you are trying to teach a lesson. My book is about fairness, an opportunity, and you're trying to be fair and provide an opportunity. So I must agree that if this is the word that you're providing to help people that I'm telling you to help, if they're not going to follow this word, just like they're not going to follow the word in the Bible, then the end results and consequences are what they are. Have a good day, Miss Jenkins. And I look at Jesus and say, you have a good day too, Lord. ZZ109FM, this is Elsie Jenkins here. Common sense. Everyone doesn't have it. And everyone's not willing to maintain common sense. That's the problem. They'll do all kinds of things that cloud their vision. Well, my vision's not cloudy. My vision is clear. And if you want to come into my window with a cloudy vision and smile in my face like, I don't see your bullshit, you're sadly mistaken. As far as I'm concerned, don't even get to that step with these people. If they ask for help, you send them to the nearest shelter. You send them away. Not because you're doing it against God's will to help people, but you're doing it to give them the best options for greater success. If you're not going to come here and listen to me, then go there and see if you can listen to them. ZZ109FM Talk Radio, Elsie Jenkins here. You have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care.